All this computer hacking is making me thirsty.
All I wanna do is drink beer for breakfast.
Suds and security.
All I wanna eat is them barbecue chips. All I want is someone just to try to protect us.
Do your thing,
All right,
John.
Let me start the clock here. All right. Live from beautiful downtown Fort Myers, it's Suds and Security.
Suds and Security.
Your hosts, Greg Skasny and John Bankert. Hey, Greg, how are you?
Hey, Mr. John Bankert, how are you doing
Good.
today?
Can I just tell you one thing real quick? I'd like to mention our sponsor today.
Okay. Well, please mention our
Do you mind
sponsor
that?
today. Yeah.
All right. So our sponsor
Someone
today,
needs to keep us in beer, John.
Yes, Griffin Force, identity risk mitigation. Griffin Force, 999 Vanderbilt Beach Road, Naples, Florida. You can reach them at 855-943-7475. Thank you, Griffin Force, for supporting us with beer. What are you drinking today?
Today, I am drinking a New Belgian Triple. It has a bunch of roosters on it. It reminds me, I'm a Keys guy. I like the Florida Keys a lot.
I know that.
And this reminds me of the Florida Keys chickens that are everywhere. If you've ever been to Key West,
I have been to Key West.
Yeah, and there's chickens everywhere. So this kind of reminds me of that. I haven't tasted it yet.
So you're drinking chicken piss.
Yeah, 8.5.
All right.
Eight and a half.
Well,
An
there you
8.5.
go. So I went back with an old favorite because I had this a couple podcasts ago.
Oh, yummy.
Kentucky Old Fashioned Barrel Ale, made in Kentucky. I should ask you that again because I think last time it tripped you up.
Well, we have that. We have it on our beer
Brewed
cap
with cheers.
map.
Yes, so I'd like to thank your wonderful wife for the beer cap map.
Awesome.
We now have 4
It's getting there.
beer caps.
I have one in my house. It's much more full, but
I noticed that last time I was over there.
it's all right.
Yeah, so thank you to your beautiful wife for,
I dig it. I dig
for doing that for us. I appreciate it. What are we going to talk about today?
So I think next time I'm going to make a proclamation that maybe instead of the Suds, maybe we do a bourbon one.
Okay, yeah. The only problem with that is
switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll have to slow down or it'll get really loud and
That's all right.
boisterous
So,
by the end of the
anyways,
podcast.
today we're going to talk about fishing, and ain't the kind of fishing that I like to do this kind of fishing too, but not the kind of fishing I do on weekends. The bad kind of fishing.
You know,
Email
it's funny
fishing.
that you meant that because just earlier this afternoon I got an email from a guy in Nigeria. And I sent him my bank account number, and yeah, he's got $10 million. He's
going to wire it right to you.
Yeah, and then all I have to do is
send
give him
half
$1 million.
back, right?
Well, just $1 million. Just $1 million.
Man,
It's a great deal.
You can't beat that deal.
So,
That's
you ever watch Flight of the Conchords?
I have not.
Oh my God, great HBO. It hasn't been on for years now, but they still repeat it. And
You're dating yourself.
And one of the guys said, that Maury, the manager, said that. And he got the email, and then by the end of the show, it was a 30-minute sitcom. They walk in the office, the guy from Kenya is sitting there, and he's like, "Who's this?" Well, this is the guy from Kenya that I've been telling you about. He just wired the money into my account. So, very good.
Awesome.
Anyway, all jokes aside,
yeah.
fishing's a serious matter.
We're going to talk about fishing, and I'm gonna throw up random examples of fishing emails. But fishing is a big problem, right? So, one of the things we do at CDS, we do fishing assessments of clients, where we fake emails like this and send it to people. But why do we do that? I mean, I think, and it's because it works, right? So the model of attack that happens today usually starts with a phishing email. Any big data breach you read about recently, any big hack you read about, Sony being one, starts with a phishing email. Someone sends an email with a link that they just can't not click on. I got to click on it right now. And boom, it starts the whole chain.
Or they're not
breach.
thinking, right? I mean, that happens to me a lot, honestly. And I can say, knock on wood, if we had any around here, that I haven't been a victim of phishing as of today. But I can also tell you that I understand, because as you're going through your email, especially in a work environment, you're reading 1,000 emails, 10,000 emails a day, whatever your thing is. 50 emails a day, whatever.
Well, some of them are very,
right.
very good. And
right.
John, you in particular are the exception to the rule, and I mean that in a nice way.
Yeah.
You get phishing emails, and you recognize it very, very quickly, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you get ones to me are very, very
NSA
good.
training.
It is, but you don't click on them and you even say, hey, look at this phishing email, right? So you're very, very diligent about that, but you're not the norm, right? So.
Right.
The cool thing about, not the cool thing, but the bad thing about phishing emails is they're usually timely. So even though we're past tax time, you take an email like this, with the IRS in it, they usually sending this out, around April 10th, April 15th, the tax time stuff, or anytime after that about refunds. They're hitting people where they're actually doing business.
Right.
And I've seen a lot of them even recently that they send to people who are doing other things like loans and things like that they're not going to get everybody, but they're going to get enough percentage of people to click on those to make it effective. And so what do they do after this phishing email? So you get a link, you click on it. There's a lot of things that can happen afterwards. So it can be anything from a full-scale breach where they take control of your computer, they're exfiltrating data and that kind of stuff. They can use your computer as part of a denial of service attack. They can use your computer to do what they call click fraud. So obviously, places like Google and Yahoo get money on how many times you click on advertisements.
Right, sure.
So and hackers know this, and it's all about the money. So they'll generate click fraud for ads that they have. Your computer will just click on things hundreds and hundreds of thousands of times. So it happens all the time. And the problem is that a lot of them look very, very legit. You get it if you're not as astute as you are, and you get an email, and because you're good.
People are going to send me phishing emails now. You realize?
Good.
That.
I think they should, because if it gets past you, then we can use it in our assessment.
But honestly, you said something. They're timely, and if I could be, and it just jumped in my head, but they're almost like fortune tellers, right? I mean, fortune tellers to me, and the people that say they talk to the dead and all that, I don't believe in any of that. So, and if you do know, if you do, you're an idiot. But phishing is like that, because you'll get an email, and it's not. We can talk about spear phishing. You can explain that in a second. But even if it's not directly targeted at you like a spear phish is, it's that one email where you go, oh shit, I do have an American Express.
So I'm going to use
right.
Well, yeah, and that's exactly
and that's
it.
what they do. They're sending out a kabillion, and they know that there's 100 million of us that have an American Express card, and so they're gonna grab that one person that does.
And they watch the news too. So I'm going to use this. This is from a while ago. So Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and big insurance carrier, they were breached. They were part of a data breach, and the next day after they announced their breach, this phishing email came out.
Awesome, yeah.
And
it's a great phishing email, by the way.
I use this a lot because this is a good one. I mean, it really is. It's one. It looks totally legit. It has Anthem's logo. It says we had a cyber attack, which they did. It was in the news. Everybody knew. And again, they're going to send this to as many people as possible. Is everybody going to have Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield? Probably not. But if a good 80% does,
again, everybody going to have a dead Uncle John?
Nope,
probably not.
Probably
but
not.
The ones that do it, I'm going to look like a fortune teller.
But it says, hey, we've been breached. We want to help you out. Click here to get your free credit protection. Why wouldn't you click that, right?
Sure.
I mean,
and that's what companies do, right? We both know, because we hang them in our office. We have about 30 letters of people giving us a free year of credit reporting because they lost our data, or our data was stolen from them, or whatever. And so it's perfectly legit, except that those of you out there that get these kinds of things, they don't send them in an email. They send them in a postal letter to your home or to your business. So you're not going to get an email that says click here for your free year of credit reporting.
We'll give some tips afterwards. And things like this. And so recently I got one too. And we get them an email all the time. But one I got that was actually pretty good was from LinkedIn. So I use LinkedIn. I post a lot of articles on LinkedIn. So do you?
Yeah, you want to get your LinkedIn plug in here for your account?
It's LinkedIn/cybersec defense. But that's okay. I got an in-mail from someone who is a connection, maybe not a friend, but a connection, business connection, whatever. And it was odd to me because I don't get many in-mails in LinkedIn. And it said, hey, I have this proposal that I've been working on. I wanted to send it out to some people just to get your feedback on it. It got my attention. I didn't click on it because I looked at the link and went, "Oh, that's some phishing. That's some really cool phishing stuff." But it was one of those things that now all of a sudden they take it to that professional level. It's hitting you on a professional,
and you don't expect it, right?
Because
LinkedIn is a very professional service that a lot of people use.
Tries to be,
right? Sure.
And it was a guy asking for help. And one of the things that we do in even doing these video podcasts. The presentation we do, we like to help. I'm a helping guy, right? I want to help people be more secure. I want to help people do better, young entrepreneurs, that kind of stuff. And this guy's like, hey, I want help with my proposal. It tugs at my heartstrings a little bit. I'm like, well, I'm not clicking on that, So they come in all shapes and forms, So obviously the Blue Cross Blue Shield one, these tend to get like my mom. Mom, I love you. Don't get me wrong. I love you, Mom.
Yeah.
But my mom will repost these things on Facebook.
Sure,
it's going out of style.
So does my father-in-law, yeah.
These are fake. I mean, people need to understand, like, you're not getting, these free gift vouchers.
Yeah, get a free iPod if you do this.
On Facebook and away you
go. 1,000,000 times, yeah.
Total. I mean, look at the domain on this thing. familydollar.com-oss.com, right? I mean, we use these kind of techniques.
That's how they get
in
you, right?
In our assessments, right?
Miss a letter, misspell something, right? Yeah.
We just don't think. People scan it, they go,
EXPN.com.
I want $75.
Sure. Yep.
Click on it. Let's go.
Yep.
That kind of stuff. This one, too. Hey, give me your information. I know the graphic's not that great, but get a free $1,000 from Best Buy. I mean,
Right.
I want a big 40,
Happens all the time.
80-inch, 4K curved screen.
Yeah, well, you better have more than $1,000
Well,
bucks. But yeah, I
it's
see
a
where
good
you're
discount,
going.
right?
Yeah.
So 100% free. Just give me your name, your address, your all the information you would have to give, for a credit application.
So
and all that kind of
ultimately, the phishing email though is to get you to click on it or click on something, or in this case, provide information.
stuff.
Right.
They want information. They either want access
Right.
to your computer. They want information.
Right.
and
Maybe
that's
download a virus. You go to a website, you get a virus, get
access
some
to your
malware.
computer.
Sure.
Quick
Yeah.
fraud, all that kind of stuff.
So don't do it. So what do I do? So do I report these? Do I ignore them? What do I do with these emails?
You F and delete them.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Get rid of them.
I mean, that's what
you.
you do. And you got one of the things I tell people, especially when we do training seminars on phishing emails, is you have to watch out for those things. And I'm going to use the thing that's on our board. Those links that you just can't afford not to click on.
Yeah.
I can't afford not to click on this. I have
That's
to
a
click
Greg
on it right now.
Skasny quote in our
right?
office.
And this is one that I saw go around Facebook a ton. It's a scam, right? So, and again, Mom, sorry, but my mom shared this.
Yeah.
It was the Range Rover. Get a free
Right.
Range Rover.
Yeah.
No one's giving away free Range Rovers, people.
Right.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is that the scammers will always try to tug at your heartstrings. They tug at your want, the need, the things you want, and say, hey, we're going to give you away for free.
So
it's not happening.
So let's say, I mean, you mentioned that all the major breaches that we've heard about. I mean, from the top to the bottom, honestly, over that I know of the last 10 years I've been doing this. They've started typically with a phishing email or some sort of way to get into a company, either through a subcontractor, right? In the case of Target. So how do we stop it? How do you're not going to stop the bad guys from sending out phishing emails, because, as my dad always said, they wouldn't do it if it didn't work, right? They wouldn't do it if it didn't make them money.
So that's part of the issue is when we do assessments for companies, a lot of times, especially penetration tests, we talk about things that are in and out of scope. We want social engineering in scope, especially phishing, and a lot of times they don't want it in scope. Why is that? And from our standpoint, why do we want it in scope? Because it always works. There's not a phishing email we've ever sent out where nobody's ever clicked
Right,
on.
sure.
We do a lot of assessments for a lot of companies, even some of the ones that are really bad, like very easy to do. We still get people to click on it, and all it takes is one. It just takes one person to click on it, so it always works. What people have to do, and the training that people need to get, is they need to understand that there's a few rules with emails. One is, if it has a link on it and you're not expecting it. If you're not expecting an email from the person you got it from and it has a link or attachment, just delete it. It's not that important.
Right.
It really isn't.
Reach out, call the individual.
The king of
something like that,
Nigeria is
sure.
not. He doesn't need to send you money right now. Your boss doesn't.
You're not
need
going to win a free Range Rover, so yeah.
Your boss doesn't need that HR report with
That's a
all
big one.
the
And
W-9s in it, right?
We're running out of
W2s.
time. We try to keep these down to 15 minutes because we don't want you to quit watching us. But one of the big things that recently that you've talked about, I know, and as CDS has gone out and done stuff, is the emails from the CFOs and the CEOs saying, hey, I need you to do this now, and the poor employee is like, oh my gosh, I got to do it.
Yep.
So
we talk about that's more of a spear phishing thing,
right.
like
so how do
you
spear phishing? So which is more targeted to the individual, right? That's
very
what spear
targeted. Yeah,
phishing is.
very targeted.
What's the remedy for that? How do you stop that?
The things that we tell clients are, and the things we do with our clients are, if I'm going to send an attachment to a client, or I'm going to send a link, I sent them an email before, and the crooks will catch on to this, but I send them an email saying, hey, I'm going to send you something, whatever it is, X, Y, and Z. It's going to be an attachment. It's going to be a PDF. It's legit. You can open it. You're going to expect it in the next 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying the crooks can't do that too, but if
pick up the phone. Typically,
it's
when
much
you're
harder
communicating
to
with
automate
people,
that
right?
kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And if you're concerned about it, if it's something you really need to do, again, pick up the phone and call.
Sure. Best
Verify
way.
the identity of the people who you're dealing with in email.
Yeah.
That's not 100% foolproof. That kind of stuff can be fake too, but it helps. Anything you can do to verify. If it's a link, if it's an attachment that you're not expecting, just don't open it. And that's the best information you can give. It's hard. And
I have to be honest with you too. I don't open any attachments anymore. I really don't.
But you are the exception to the rule, my friend, and you're very good about it. I mean, you really are. There's things that as good as I think I am, I've thought about clicking on.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, did you see this phishing email? I'm like, yeah, I did, and it almost got me.
Yeah.
But you're very quick on the ball with that. Most people aren't.
Because it doesn't
right?
matter, right? I delete it. It's not the $1 million contract.
Most people think, especially with emails, that I have to do it right now. Right? I have email. I got to get it. I got to respond to it. I got to do it right now. And they have to take that step back to go, do I really need to click on this right now? Is this really something I need to do? and not do it.
So
right?
can I wrap it up?
Please wrap it up.
So one of the big things one of the things Greg mentions, don't click on links, which don't open zip files from
Don't download
from email,
attachments.
don't download attachments, all that stuff. Training is the big key. You said training 15 times in there, and I kept trying to get in there, but train everybody, right? Train all the employees. Don't just train the IT staff or expect the IT staff to be trained. Train everybody.
It's not the IT
because it's
staff.
not the IT staff getting fished.
We're not.
Right?
We're not
Right.
going to break in the IT staff. We don't target those guys.
And at the end of the day, if it is you and you do click on a link or you do download a file or you do whatever and you notice something weird going on, or even if you don't, but you just look at it after the fact and go, you know what, I shouldn't have clicked on that, don't not tell someone. Go to your IT staff, go to your boss, and tell them, I clicked on this, I downloaded this, I shouldn't have done it, whatever. You're not going to get in trouble. You're going to get in more trouble if you don't say anything, because they're going to find out who was the first person, who the computer was, right?
Well, and that's if they're good, they will. But I mean, it could just start this cascade
We will,
of
right?
bad things. Right?
CDS will find out when we come to investigate it forensically.
If we do a instant response for you, absolutely. But it's going to start a cascade of bad things that could end up in court.
Sure.
It could end
Costing
up
a lot more, right?
Right. So
last word.
Just be careful. Don't click on links. If you're not expecting the email, don't click on links. Don't download the attachment. Don't give out information. It's just that simple.
He's so
you
smart.
have to stop doing that.
He's so darn smart. Listen to him, ladies and gentlemen. So, again, we thank Griffin Force Identity Risk Mitigation, 855-943-7475 for sponsoring us and buying us the beer. Anybody wants to sponsor us and buy us beer, give us a call and we'll be happy to do it. Hit
I will
Greg up on
gladly
LinkedIn.
drink your beer.
Sure, yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't fish him, though. Thanks a lot.
Fish me.
Until
Please
the
do.
next time,
I'm Greg.
and I'm John. Stay safe.
Fish out.